Lebanon, where an Israeli airstrikes killed at least 7 people and wounded several others in central Beirut. People have woken up to the aftermath of that attack, which has caused extensive damage. The Israeli military says it conducted what it called a precise airstrike. It's the closest an attack has come to the centre of Lebanon's capital. The neighbourhood of Bachoura is just 1 kilometre from Lebanon's parliament and the Prime Minister's office. Most Israeli strikes until now have targeted the southern suburb of Jazeera, a known Hezbollah stronghold. And that suburb was also bombed overnight. It's where Hezbollah chief Hassan Nasrallah was killed last week. Fires burned in the area throughout the night. This is the scene in Beirut right now, just where it's after about 11 o'clock in the morning. Smoke is still billowing across the city from those overnight airstrikes. Zeina Khodr is joining us from the Lebanese capital. She's at the scene of the attack near the city centre. Tell us what you and the crews have been able to see this morning, Zeina.
Well, the civilians who live in this neighborhood are scared. What they've been telling us is that there's nowhere safe any longer. Where are we supposed to go? Now, this is the 4th strike inside the Lebanese capital. Like you mentioned, Beirut's southern suburbs have been really intensively hit in a wave of strikes in the past few days. In Beirut city center, these attacks have been I wouldn't call them precise because people are getting hurt and there's a lot of destruction, but they are targeted in the sense that the Israeli military is going after everyone or everything associated with Hezbollah. Now, what was hit was a center, a health center that was affiliated with Hezbollah. 7 paramedics killed. It wasn't the first time members of this organization has been killed in nearly a year of fighting. At least 40 have been killed over the past year. So people are expressing a lot of concern that this air campaign is widening, and they feel that this is where really the Israeli military has an advantage, their superior air power. And what they tried to do, the Israelis, in the past 2 days was try to gain yet more political leverage against Hezbollah by launching that ground operation. But the very fact that Hezbollah pushed them back really worked to Hezbollah's advantage, because we heard Hezbollah officials last night strike a very different tone, a very defiant tone, saying that we are ready for what could be an open-ended battle, and we are not going to surrender, we are not going to accept defeat, and we will win like we did in 2006. So defiance on the part of Hezbollah, a lot of concern among civilians, and especially that this air campaign is widening.
Zeina, let's talk more about that, because you were talking before about the fact that the original Israeli strikes were at the southern suburb of Jazeera. It was a known Hezbollah stronghold, but now you're saying that the latest strikes towards the centre of Beirut are killing paramedics and medical crews. Do we have any indication what Israel is attempting to hit when it carries out these strikes?
It's been a strategy that has been employed for months. Israel is trying to degrade the capabilities of Hezbollah, not just in Lebanon, but in neighboring Syria as well. It's become, part of the battlefield, if you like. Since Israel's war on Gaza, we've seen Israel step up its strikes in Syria. Its stated goal there has been to degrade the capabilities of Iran. But at the time being, the Israeli military has imposed an unofficial military blockade on Lebanon. Yes, Beirut's international airport is still functioning, but the Israeli military says if it has any information that planes hostile to it land, then it will target the airport. It's also issued warnings about weapons being transferred from Syria into Lebanon. It has hit border crossings along that border. And it has stepped up strikes in Syria. In the past 12 hours, 2 strikes. In the past week, up to 16 strikes. So what they're trying to do is not only target the supplies in Lebanon, but make sure Hezbollah is not able to resupply. So no doubt this is part of a strategy. Now, their end goal, of course, Israeli officials, we heard the Israeli foreign minister say that they would like to see, Hezbollah disarmed and dismantled. Now, Hezbollah needs to play its cards hard. It needs to score achievements in order to have a better negotiating position on the battlefield. So mediation efforts appear to be still at a standstill, and both sides trying to improve, if you like, their negotiating position with strikes like this, or Hezbollah's ability to prevent Israeli ground forces from infiltrating into Lebanon.
Zeina Khodr in Beirut. Zeina, thank you.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.